Hello.
It's me, Johnny Fox, doing some more Fox Tales, and this week with me, right away, right now. How good is that? It so rarely happens. I edit all the shenanigans out, you see,
Uh,
but it's straight in, straight in.
Great
So God
in,
knows what's going to go wrong next because we can't get off to such a good start, but we'll see.
obviously.
Uh, I'm just going to hand it straight over to you. You can tell the kids at home a little bit more about who you are and
Hmm.
what you do.
What now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
go for it.
I'm new to this, so please do bear with. So I'm Dean Judd, tattoo artist based in Sheffield, live in Derbyshire. I have a 6-year-old son, and I've just recovered from a head tattoo, which is mental.
Little bit, little bit.
Hmm.
Um, so let's dig into the tattooing then.
Mhm.
So what came first? Getting tattooed or giving tattoos?
Oh, getting
I
like I had my
figure.
I had my first tattoo at the age of 16 with my mum's permission in some guy's kitchen. To this day, I refuse to touch my first tattoo because it's like an anchor point to where it all began.
Yeah.
The addiction started and all that kind of stuff. Because all it takes is one, and that's it. You're pretty much addicted. It's mental. But I usually use my first tattoo as a vocal point to people who are like underage or like 18 wanting to get their hands tattooed. I'm like, let me tell you a story. Because I asked for the Triforce, which is
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked for the Legend of Zelda. My mum caked my arm in numbing cream, like proper numbed to the core. And he done the lines, and he said, "I'm sorry, mate, but I don't have any yellow, but I have a very nice orange." 16-year-old me, who's like, "I don't care. Yeah, stick some orange in there." So my first tattoo was 3 Doritos, essentially 3 triangle
Yeah.
Doritos.
Uh,
So that's kind of that's I can never cover that up because there's a lesson to be learnt there.
yeah, it's fantastic. So so when did you when did you want to become an artist?
Oh, I
And
ever
how was that? Connect those dots.
so I've always wanted to be an artist, but I, I wanted to be a tattoo artist at one point, but I did an awful blue bird on my friend's shoulder, and it kind of was like a reality check that that's on that person forever. And I was just kind of like, I don't want to do this anymore. That's too scary. So I kind of like stopped tattooing. And this was like when I was like 21, 22, I think. And basically, as soon as that happened, I was like, I'm never touching a tattoo machine ever again, never again, and all that kind of stuff. And I found myself on all my business plans, because I've always wanted to be self-employed. On all my business plans, I put tattoo artist as like a third option, but it was always a gap filler. If you know what I mean? You know how
Yeah.
you've always got to have like 3 backup plans. I always just put it there as a gap filler until one day, like I mean, this goes right into my tattooing origins, but like I saw a YouTube video that was recommended to me, how to draw a traditional tattoo rose. I had my son napping on me on my lap, so I couldn't move. I had my notebook literally right next to me. My phone was like all the way over on the other couch, so I was kind of stuck in place, but with the controller on my for my PS4. So I thought, why not? So hit play, and I just got my notebook out and started drawing. And then since I was like, I'm actually having a lot of fun with this, so I just yeah, I just that's where it all started. I was like, it reignited it, if you will.
Yeah. So how does someone become a professional tattoo artist? I mean, is there a tattoo academy you
You
go
can
through?
you can get those kind of you can take
Yeah.
tattooing courses and stuff like that, like online stuff. But if I'm honest, I'd say the best and the most critical route to go down is get an apprenticeship. Like, I think finding a mentor, someone you trust, someone who is going to guide you right, essentially, someone who you will be proud to say, you were taught by. I think that's always the best route to go down, in my opinion. Because you can learn it on a course, but you're not going to get that critical feedback from people in person. You're not going to get that the closeness, if you will, like people looking at your stencil placements and giving you a second opinion. Because if you're learning from a tattoo course, you're literally taking a photo, submitting it, sending it off, waiting about 3 days for feedback, and kind of gone from there. So yeah, I'd recommend apprenticeship 100%.
Fantastic. So have you now got yourself into a place where people want you? They
Yeah.
want Dean. They're asking for you. They don't just want. They know the tattoo that they want. They know the design maybe, and it's not like anyone will do. They want you.
I had a few occasions. There's one person, and I'll never forget this moment. He came in and said, "I'm here to see the tattoo Teabag." I was like, "That's me. I'm the tattoo Teabag." Like, people used to say Dean or like Dean in Intrepid Ink, but one person said the tattoo Teabag. I was like, "The tattoo Tea. I'm the tattoo Teabag." So it was like a huge thing. Like, yeah, honestly.
Yeah. So tell us about that tattoo Teabag. There's a story behind that. I'm sure.
There actually isn't much of a story. Back in college, I used to go at lunchtime after lunch. I used to go to see. I used to hang out with my friends. We used to get our DSs out and we used to play Mario Kart all the time. And I always used to give my names, like my Mario Kart names, with various different names. One of them was Hyperbat, and I used to stick with Hyperbat for ages. Then one time was, then I just thought, I like tea. I've got tattoos. Tattoo Teabag. And I just put that name on the Mario Kart. Yeah, Emma Cassie. Yeah, this is the origin of the tattoo Teabag. And yeah, it was just one of those things where I was like, I like teas and tattoos. Slap it on a Mario Kart name, and I kept coming first with that name. I was like, this is a sign. It's a sign. So it's always been my little placement. That is. It's always brought me good stuff with that name.
Oh, fantastic! So over the time you've been both giving and receiving tattoos, right now, is there much of a trend right now? Is there a certain sort of style or even a very specific thing that people are asking for?
It's one of those things. I'm 2 years into my tattooing, and I've only really just found what I believe, believe to be my niche, which is like paint strokes, splatters, and all that kind of stuff, like abstract tattoos. I'm really enjoying at the moment. So in terms of a trend, like that's where I'm trying to get more people in to get me from them. But at the moment, it's just cartoons and colourful stuff. People seem to come to me for. But yeah, like that's the kind of stuff that I'm currently doing. But yeah, I want to do more splats and abstract stuff. I think that's where I am at the moment.
Yeah, it's like back in the day when I was getting mine. It was like all the guys were getting the Superman S in various places, various sizes. Not for me, that one. All the girls seem to be getting Tweety Pie.
Oh, okay. That was stick and poke an Indian into
or a dolphin. Maybe a dolphin, especially like maybe around the belly button and things like that.
Yeah.
Tweety Pie or a dolphin, or the Superman S, which. Yeah, I mean, each to their own. There's no good, there's no bad. It's art, it's all subjective and all that, so it's fine.
Exactly.
So, having been on both sides of the gun, is it a gun? Is that right? Is that what we call it?
It's a machine.
The machine.
Yeah. Don't be hearing other tattoos call it a gun.
Much more 2025
yeah,
as well.
Exactly.
Call it a gun. So yeah, what's your take then to seriously if people are looking for the first one and let's do some myth busting.
Go ahead.
What like the classic things that you've come across maybe that put people off that you have to sit down and go, yeah, no, it's not like that, or maybe like the pain or the heat or whatever people might have heard.
So we get a lot of people in who are scared of the pain. But I say we've come a long way in tattooing technology where we've got softer impact with the needle, because back in the day you had coil machines, which were those like the ones when you type in tattoo machines, they're like the ones you see, the ones with the big battery and the coil, whatever. They hit a lot harder. That's why when you look at old Sailor Jerry's tattoos, you see big fat bold lines, because they use big fat needles that just drill into it. Whereas now you've got a machine which has voltage batteries, more control, more precise, more cleaner stuff, and it's a lot more gentle as well. So trying to say when someone's granddad says, "Oh yeah, my tattoo hurt," because obviously they got theirs done so long ago,
Yeah.
they're going off old timey machines. Shouldn't be saying stuff like that, but yeah, older machines. So they're obviously gone from that experience. And when I like do that, I always say to them, "I'm going to do a nice, easy first line for you to ease you into it, and you'll see how it is." I've taken many a skin virginity. I'm very good at taking skin virginity, and just nice, easy first line. And usually they've hyped themselves up for like extinguishing, burning sensations, and they're like, "Oh, is that it?" And I just kind of like go from there. Like, that is literally it. That is it. And I think that's what helps with the bug as well. You know, when you get addicted to tattoos. So yeah, that's kind of like what is the pain that a lot of people would question about as well.
I mean, there's certainly come a long way, hasn't it? I think. I mean, remember, like there was a time when the people who were tattooed, it's like a cliche, a stereotype, but there was a time. All cliches and stereotypes come from actually some form of truth, you know. And it was, I mean, being a grey old man, I can tell you that it was true that tattoo people were the heavy metal guys, the goth guys, the bikers, the kind of the not necessarily the shady, dodgy types like me.
Hello.
You know, which is and people didn't, you know. So there's it's the bad boys and stay away from that, and you don't do that, and you don't want to be like one of them. And then we hit this kind of. Then it became much more mainstream. Then it became like I think it started with like professional footballers, boy bands, even fucking Spice Girls.
Yeah.
You know, were like tattooed, and then it was like kind of cool, sort of okay. And that's when I stopped. Not because I didn't want to be cool. I'd love to be cool for a change. But every 20 years, I'm cool for about 6 months, and then you know.
I vibe with that, man. I vibe with that. That's why I keep getting new tattoos to try and keep cool.
Yeah, it was really because I think it seemed to like triple the prices.
Yeah.
Because it kind of became a fashion thing to do instead of what kind of weirdos got done down a back alley somewhere for, you know. I believe my biggest one, which isn't that big, but my biggest one on this arm, which set me back all of about 30 quid, I think is, and in one sitting, is probably something like at least 80 and 100 in maybe 2 or 3 sittings, depending on the artist. Everybody does it a little bit different, don't you?
We've all got our own different techniques.
Which is the biggest reason I have much less than you, or I would. The addiction, I agree, but there's also this money.
This is the thing with in terms of pricing, because I work from where I work, Intrepid Inc. in Sheffield. I put my hand on my heart to say, you know, we charge such good prices from what it's like. From we once had a little old lady come in and she asked for a quote, which was like this nice fine line sort of text, if you will, on an arm, and we said, "Oh, 30 quid," and she was like aghast. Like, I've just been quoted 80 up, like up there, and 120 up further up. I'm like, it's literally just quick setup, 10 minutes of our time of following a nice little swirly dirty writing, 10 minutes tops. There's no way it's worth 120, like, or charging 80. So this is what, when I said about an apprenticeship being quite important, because I was brought up in the studio that I'm working, I'm seeing all of these, like, the realness of it all, you know, and you get a more sense of community with it as well. And like, if I went training in a different location in the city and they're like, "Oh yeah, something like that would be 120 quid," there would be part of me that'd be like, really? Like, I would happily have done that for, like, I don't know, 30, 40 quid. Yeah. So the fact that I'm in my studio, it's such a beautiful sense of community, and, like, you know, we're not, pardon my language, taking the piss. We're not like overcharging little old grannies and stuff like that. We want people to get tattooed. We want that community. We want those people in studios. We want We want people to get like. I'm huge on sentimental value. Like, I love sentimentality. So if I can like literally give someone a little remembrance tattoo for something less than like I don't know a cup of coffee these days, I'm happy to do so. Like it's my service. It's what I like to give back because
Oh,
I get to do this every single day. You know, it's a grateful thing. It's an honor, if anything.
oh, beautiful,
Mm.
beautiful. Now, you might have touched on the idea that with all this great modern technology,
Hmm.
it doesn't hurt like it used to.
Hmm.
But it's fair to say it still does,
Oh yes.
or can. Where would you say? Where's the most painful
Well,
place? The head, perhaps.
nope, head was actually really chill.
Yeah.
That was very, very chill. That goes all the way up there.
Ah.
Yeah, that was in I think three places. There was a bit of a ooh that hurt. Like wow,
Yeah.
okay. Then obviously kind of faded away from those and started focusing around behind the ear, which was honestly I could have slept. It was that nice. The most intense place though for me, and I'll never forget it because it was dramatic. Ribs,
Yeah.
right there, and I'm not sure because men and women seem to have different perception of pain on their bodies, which is strange. Um, yeah, neck is spicy, Emma. Yeah, neck and throat is very spicy. I will agree there. But yeah, I'd say neck ribs for me was the. I've got a picture of my pain face when I got my rib done. I was biting down on my lolly so hard to the point where, like, when we got in the car after, because it was at a tattoo convention, I got both my ribs done. So when I got that one done, I sat down in the car and I passed out. I was just so done, like so done. She had to literally pin me down and drag the lines. And the funny thing is, she was using the coil machines, which are, like I say, the more harder hitting one
Right.
as well. So yeah, ribs is the worst for me. Makes me feel sick. Awful.
I actually think that, but I mean, whether we want to admit it or not, guys, women are built to give birth,
Hmm.
and we will never know. We will never know that kind of pain. We will never come close. We
No,
have to bow down to that one.
100%. I will say though, having like stomach tattoos and rib tattoos, I can only imagine is at least a marginally, somewhat in the same ballpark because oh, it's sick. It's disgusting. Mhm.
Is there any reason you would ever turn someone down?
Oh, yes. If they are proper umming and ahhing, like if they are really like, oh, I don't know, if move it to the left a bit, or maybe do that. They've clearly not made up their mind.
Yeah.
They're clearly having second thoughts. So I've turned down. There was two girls who came in and they were 18 and they said that they wanted tattoos. But when I put the stencil on them, they were going, oh, kind of like, okay, you clearly need more time. I was like, I'm not. I could have easily made 60 quid up to these two girls because all they wanted was a bit of text. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I keep the stencils on, which apparently I shouldn't have done because they could have gone to another artist and said,
Mm.
you know, tattoo these. But for me, my heart was in the right place. Like, keep the stencils on so that way you've got them on you, so you can like go in the mirror at home, walk around with them out, so you can get a feel of
Yeah.
how it's meant to be. And I never saw them again. Something tells me that they changed their mind about it. Which, if I had tattooed them, if I knew that they were umming and ahhing, then I could have put them off tattoos for life because they've also got a tattoo that they didn't want at the time. So I've had that before where I know they're uncomfortable with it, and yeah, we've had people come in who are a bit drunk or clearly on something, and we're like, no,
Yeah.
sorry, this isn't Essex. Is it Essex? Benidorm. Sorry, this isn't Benidorm. Essex and Benidorm, same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
yeah, just of kind of that really, where that's kind of the only real times we've really turned down people.
So you actually do like outright, from scratch original
Mm-hmm.
designs as well,
Mm-hmm.
right? You by your little old self, with your
Yes,
little old hands.
with a little old mind. Yes,
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
like if someone could just they're not quite sure what they want, but they just throw some ideas at you. You could go away,
I,
do a bit of doodling, come back and say, "What about this?"
I have met, like, I love designing. I pump out a flash sheet or two like every week or two. Like I'm constantly doing something. Like I've just recently done one with my son at the recently, and I have had clients say I want this. I'm like, okay, we can do that. I'll do something with it, and I like to add differences to the design because usually they have a reference in mind, so they send pictures, like a singular picture saying I want this singular picture.
Yeah,
I don't like to copy straight from that singular picture. I want to make sure that there's a uniqueness to it, unless it's like a full-on reference that can't be changed. Like, say, if they wanted Gollum from Lord of the Rings, I'm just going to tattoo Gollum.
yeah.
I'm not going to add roses or flowers or anything. Like, if they want Gollum, they're going to get Gollum. Don't know why he was an example, but that's my mind. That, apparently,
You're looking at this face. Uh,
Gollum. No, so I like to take the design and try and twist it my own way, add my own little sparks to it, make it more unique to that person. Uh, Again, big on sentimental value as well. If they say to me, you know, this is dedicated to, say, my nan, she really likes Gollum, and you know, her favorite color was blue. I will then like create a, you know, Gollum with some blue flowers and like maybe a name and like dates and all that,
yeah,
and go balls to walls. Maybe do a few, like two or three. Let her choose which one she prefers. Any changes she might want to make, I can then alter it. I really enjoy doing that kind of stuff. Again, talking to the clients as well is one of my favorite things. Like just bantering tattoos. Honestly, I could talk about it for
yeah.
days. I can go on podcasts and talk about it for
So
hours.
is there ways and means that you come up with to kind of to sort of signature your stuff? Are people going to be able to tell that's a tea bag? You know.
I've had my colleague Miles actually. He said that he's noticed that there is a certain way that I do like a lot of my designs have got like a swirl to them and like a point and like it's the way it curves and swirls. He said you can always tell one of my designs by the way it curves and swerves and stuff like that because it's clearly like an elegant sort of like thick border sort of thing, but with a nice tail flick at the end. So I think that's one of them. But like I said, recently I've come into doing abstract tattoos, and the way I do them is quite unique to myself as well. Like certain kind of brush strokes and stuff like that. So which I haven't noticed a lot of Sheffield people doing. So I think that's kind of like my little signature. I think.
Yeah. Very cool. Now, I don't want to get you in any trouble.
That's all right.
Don't
Go
want
ahead.
you to name and shame anybody, but there must be. I mean, is there ever a time, you know, a client wants what they want,
Mm-hmm.
and a customer is always right, I guess, and all that. But inside, you're like, it's a bit shit. What do they want that for? You know, or maybe it's the placing. And you think it'd be much better if you had it, you know, somewhere
Mm-hmm.
else. And maybe you can find a polite way of making these suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being the
But
professional,
I think
but maybe they don't
it's
want to know. You know, like they think, no, it's going there. Which,
I can't really pinpoint an example where that's happened to me. There have been times where I mean, this is coming from a guy who's got a Teletubby pinup girl. Like I've I've got tattoos up the wazoo where I'm even questioning why the hell I got them. But the artist again never talked me out of it or tried to talk me out of it at all.
yeah,
But it's just one of those things where I've if they I will obviously say I wouldn't because of X, Y, and Z, but it's completely up to you. 1% you. It's like, oh yeah, I thought about it. I want this. That's it. That's all I need to know. You know, as long as they're happy with it. I can't say I've really turned down any clients because of their location.
yeah.
I had one guy come in, and I won't name names, obviously, but he recently came out of prison, and he just walked in. I was like, I want this, 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 and he ended up walking out with some birds flying up the side of his head, a massive like the word diablos across his eyebrow. Never met this guy before in my life, and I was just like, well, he knows what he wants. He's clearly I'm not arguing with a guy who's just left out of prison.
Yeah,
If
you
he wants
might have
that,
had quite some time to think that over.
absolutely. And I will say as well, just in case he's listening to this, he was a very lovely gentleman. Like, he was a very top bloke. So, but yeah, honestly, stuff like that, it's, as long as you can tell that they've thought about it, usually golden. Like I said, I've got tattoos on me where I'm just like, I'm gonna, I don't know why, I got Grumpig, the Pokemon, in a wheelchair with a whip. You know what I mean? But I've got him.
Oh, fantastic! Now we joked a little bit about it being a lot more sort of mainstream these days than it used to be, but still, how do you feel it sits out there in the community? To be, especially if you've got tattoos that are either if you're very heavily tattooed or at least they're very much on show in places that are very regularly seen, especially maybe for those 2 weeks a year the weather's all right.
Yeah.
If we're lucky, at least two.
Oh
Please.
yeah.
Can we get two this year? Do you still find much? Is prejudice too strong a word?
No,
I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But
feel free, man.
People still, on the one hand, you've got David Beckham or someone very nice and famous and people like. Because I feel like sometimes it's like the separation between like celebrity and normal person. Like it's okay when they do it. Like people still like them. You still enjoy whatever it is that they do, whatever art or sport or whatever they might do. People might even still find them attractive. And then as soon as normal person could have like the exact same sleeve, but it's like,
yeah.
Who's this guy?
I think that comes down to like obviously the perception of the celebrity, really, because you're looking at that person and you're looking at also all their achievements as well. Like celebrities can get away with all kinds that a normal person can't, and obviously a celebrity can dress like in a certain way and get praised for being so daring. But if a normal person was walking down the street with that kind of attire, it's like, the hell are you doing? Like, what are you doing? I think in terms of prejudiceness, because it's a really good topic that is with tattoo prejudices. The amount of times like I've sat in a bus shelter and I've had little old ladies literally come up to me and just start talking to me, even though I've got all these tattoos on show.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's become a more accepted. I think we're living in such a time where tattoos are super accepted, and the amount of times I've seen people say like, if you're ever on your own or you're lost or anything like that, find a goth. Like literally, find someone dressed all in black and everything. If you need help, like directions, if you feel unsafe, like around someone, or you feel like you're being followed, find a goth. Tell them what's going on, and they will look at you. Like alternatives are the most nicest people you can meet.
Yeah, I would second that notion. I think there's still a sort of both being dads, both being dads mean you. Like I'm sure you don't care, as I'm sure I don't care, if your son's teacher, looks like you.
Oh, I wish.
We wish. You see now, how many perfectly good, perfectly qualified teachers look like us and don't get the job?
Oh yeah, no, there is still a work prejudice there.
Yeah, I feel like it's still a thing. If we'd still struggle to run for MP, even though it's complete bullshit. On the one hand, like maybe nobody's throwing things at us in the street or anything, but then on the other hand, they don't want us to be their kid's English teacher either. So for some reason, as if I'm not going to know Catcher in the Rye off by heart just because I've got tattoos.
No, you're 100% correct. Yeah, no, you're 100% correct. There is a prejudice definitely in the career sector, in obviously the teaching industry, if you will. But we have in the school that my son goes to, there's a janitor there who I've tattooed, by the way. He's got all kinds of tattoos all over his face, piercings all over his face. Granted, he's a janitor, but he's still around the kids, obviously. But
it's a start.
So it's a start. It's worming our way into. if you will. But yeah, I know, I completely get that. I mean, can't say I've ever met an alternative teacher, but I think it's about time we had some. I think it's about time we had some.
It makes you, like I said, as sort of normal and regular and often, it's hard to, go outside, take a walk, see how many steps you get before you find a tattooed person. At least if it's just one or
Yeah,
two.
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Like you said, but then, go to the school, line up all the teachers, and see how many you can find. And it's like,
Exactly.
hang on, something's missing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, how can that happen?
Teachers aren't
You'd
really allowed.
expect to start seeing it
I think
more and more to be normalised in other areas. So, you're a tattoo artist, and people just go, oh, and it just makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, if you ever wanted to tell people that you're I don't know, a surgeon or a PE teacher or some shit, just to see what they
I do agree. I mean, you can also flip it on its head as well, because I don't think I would trust a tattoo artist who's not got any tattoos.
Well,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
You know what I mean? If you walk into a tattoo studio and you see some guy with blank arms, nothing on his face, casual haircut, suit maybe. I wear suits, but I show my tattoos. But like literally no visible tattoos whatsoever. Even like if they're wearing shorts and they've got like shorts on with no tattoos on their legs. Part of me would be like, oh, I don't want to get tattooed by you because you clearly won't be able to sympathise with what I'm going through. That's one of the reasons why I got my head tattooed, because I've done 2 head tattoos and I've not been able to sympathise with the client when I've done the line. So I've got this purely for work statuses. You understand? But yeah, it is one of those things where there is a somewhat of a prejudice there. But I think as well, when you look at it from a school perspective, all the children are all uniform. Like they all wear uniforms. They all have to stand in queues and, militant sort of thing. So I imagine the teachers obviously have to give that same example by not having any unique distinguishing features. They've got to be uniform as well.
Which, that may be, and that also needs to get the fuck out.
Yeah,
it won't make them a better teacher.
No, exactly.
Exactly. Like you said, having a dress code won't make them a better teacher. It won't make the kids pay any more attention. It just doesn't. Have we not tried this for enough decades now to just make it stop? I was lucky. I went to a non-uniform school, but I don't think it makes a blind bit of difference, surely.
No, I think it's more distraction. That's what they try to throw around. Distraction. And so I remember when I used to go to, when I was in like high school and we had shirt and ties, those ties were a major distraction. People pulling on them, with them, clipping them on, clipping them off, playing with them. Like, they are a distraction. Like, so yeah, it's a weird one. But I think again,
it's like. Sorry, go.
I was gonna say it's kind of like with non-uniform days. That was like a special day, where we all had a lot of fun by wearing whatever the hell we wanted.
Yeah.
But I would rather have all non-uniform day than, one day where we can be all fun and ooh.
Yeah, I think it's like they also say it's supposed to be. They like the uniform. Supposedly, so you can't sort of tell the rich kids from the poor kids. Yeah. So they have the brand names and the logos. That couldn't be more bullshit if you tried. Like, you see, because the poor kid has one blazer, one shirt, one pair of trousers that they've got to wear all week. Right?
You can already
thing starts looking pretty raggedy, a couple of months down the line when it's getting washed every day, what have you. The rich kids have got 5 blazers, 5 shirts, and they always look immaculate. You can still fucking tell.
Yeah.
There's the really clean uniform and there's the fucked up uniform. So it's like, it doesn't help. They'll still, if they're gonna be the kind of kids that pick on that kid, they're still gonna find him or her and they're still gonna do it.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't help at all.
It doesn't. I mean, like I say, one thing my son started to do at the moment, he started drawing on himself to pretend he's got tattoos and stuff. And it's really funny because when it comes to going to school, I'm like the only alternative
Yeah.
parent. Like, and so I walking up there in my black blade like trench coat and all that sort of stuff. Hand tattoos out on show, face tattoos on show,
Yeah.
and I'm smiling at everyone with my black eyeliner and all that. And my son comes out with his normal hair, normal big grin, and I think, "Daddy!" running up to me. And I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like it's one of those things where like it's that sort of appearance should
Yeah.
belong in that kind of environment. It really should. I actually do hope that my son grows up to be somewhat alternative, or at least look as he does, which is quite, dare I say it, normal. Look normal, but you know, still loves the weird
Yeah.
goblin metal that his dad listens to and
It's
stuff.
it's crazy to me. It always has been, and even though so much is, like I say, kind of
Mm-hmm.
becoming more normalized, more alternative lifestyles and looks.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it is definitely still really, really hard for so many people
Mm-hmm.
to just be
Oh,
themselves. You know,
absolutely. Yeah.
the totally wrong
Mm.
feeling of some kind of need to blend in or to be on trend or
This is
whatever.
why.
And it always baffled me. Just if you're not wired up that way,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, then so it always struck me. Why would you do? I've just never been
Mm-hmm.
that person. There's nothing wrong with it, really, because some people. Some incredibly trendy looking people are incredibly trendy looking people because that's what they actually like.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
like at least 7 out of 10 of them are doing it because they think they have to, not
Mm-hmm.
because they want
Oh, I
to.
completely
And there's
agree.
a difference.
Just trying to fit in when they don't really, feel like they want to,
Yeah.
but doing it out of survival, if anything. I get that. This is another reason why I love my the sting community. We really are. Like, we've had all kinds come through those doors, and we're always giving them the same amount of love and attention. Like, I think freaks and weirdos are just the best kind of people to hang out with,
Yeah.
to be honest. Like I said, Teletubby pin-up girl. Like, you just have to look at that and know that I'm one of those. Those people.
Yeah. Don't know what we are, but
No,
we're
yeah.
one of them. It's great. So
Mhm.
as great as talking about tattoos is, and it is, and it's not helping my envy to get lots and lots more
Good.
at all. If I could just find some cash lying around, but it's about that time.
Mhm.
We're going to play a little game.
Okay.
We're going to get to know the artist behind the art a little bit better, but
Mhm.
not really because it's just silly playing a bit of this or that.
Okay.
So there's no wrong answers, and I always say this: there's no prizes, so don't worry
That's
about it.
cool. I've got to get my iPad on charge. Give me a second.
Okay.
I will say as well, matey, and I don't want to obviously rush this at all. I'm having a whale of a time and everything, but I've got a boy downstairs I need to put to bed soon. So
Of course, sir.
I just thought, get that
We
now.
will get to that very shortly.
I think I'll try and. Ooh. There we go. I'll just hold it like this.
Okay.
Is that cool?
So yeah. So let's power through a few of these just for fun.
Go ahead.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
That's easy. Beer or wine?
Wine. 100% wine.
That was very easy. Pizza or kebab?
Pizza.
Pizza. Now, is that like a vegetarian thing or just a Ninja Turtle thing?
Pizza tattoo thing. That's what it is.
Hey.
Stay cheesy.
Hey. Okay. Okay. Country retreat or city living?
Oh, that's a tricky one. Country retreat. I'm going to go country retreat.
Yeah. You a morning person or a night person?
Night person.
Bath or shower?
Bath.
Fantastic. Do you know, so many people, it seems to be something that I've missed somewhere along the way. The whole sitting in a human soup.
Mm-hmm.
I keep doing this and asking. People are still like, bath.
Yeah, no. Like candles, incense, bath,
All of
bubble
that.
bath.
It's all ritual, isn't it?
Exactly.
Okay. What else have we got? Oh, sweet or savoury?
Ooh. Savoury. I'm going to go savoury.
Skydiving or scuba diving?
Book skydiving, scuba diving. I'm a Pisces as well, water sign, so yeah, scuba.
Oh, excellent. Would you rather be a vampire or a werewolf?
Vampire. I'll be vampire. I'm actually known as the studio vampire in my studio, so yeah, studio vampire.
I think I've had about 2 werewolves in the past year and a bit I've been doing this. I do have to always try and stick up for the hairy mammals.
Yes,
a little bit. It's not that bad, honestly.
It is quite like a vampire talking to a werewolf, to be honest. The thing was starting.
Okay. Well, what else we got? Would you rather have money or free time?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I would probably say money. I know it's a bit of a weird one because
I like to think. I mean, I've never had any money, not substantially, but I like to assume that the money buys you the free time.
Yeah, like, this is the thing. I like to assume, like for me personally, if I had the money, then I could put that money towards one big holiday or something like that, or at least have a carefree life, knowing that what I'm getting, the money I'm getting, is going to lead for me, and my son, to live a nice life.
Pay someone to do all the boring shit so we can go have fun, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
What else have we got?
Probably not the healthiest one, I imagine. But
okay. Do you consider yourself a leader or a follower?
Ooh, that is. Is there a way to choose both? Like, no.
To be fair, I think both is really the correct answer to everything, isn't it?
Yeah. See, I don't mind being, like I say, I was an apprentice, so I don't mind obviously following a leader to learn the trick. But I do like the idea of being the guy with Google Maps to sort things out, to make sure we're all together and we're going to the places. You know what I mean? So I think it's situational. It's situational.
It is.
Yeah, I'll probably say I like leader. I'm flowing towards leader.
Yeah. Well, again, as a father, you've kind of got no choice.
Well, exactly.
At least for a while, yeah.
Oh, I'm following Jesse, like whatever he wants to do. I'm like, all right, son, we'll do that then. All right, we'll stay up past at 12, okay?
Okay, so big parties or small gatherings?
Oh, that's a good one. Again, it's situational. If I'm single, big parties. If I'm not, I like a small gathering. Chill. I'll probably say though more to small gatherings.
Yeah,
I think that's more my vibe. That's wine drinking vibe. That is.
Yeah, very true. Very true. All right. Okay. Would you rather be a genius in a world of fools, or a fool in a world of geniuses?
I like being the quirky fool. I'll be a fool in a world of geniuses.
Yeah.
At least the world is being looked after, whilst I'm just here having a time of life, being ignorantly blissed.
That would be so much fun. Okay. Would you rather see a puppet show or a magic show?
Ooh, magic.
Now, so like the close-up magic, the misdirection, the pick a card, any card, ball in a cup, or the make the Empire State Building disappear kind of illusion shit.
Ooh, like Darren Brown sort of scale. I like Darren Brown scale stuff.
Very clever.
His art heist. Honestly, I love his art heist. I think that's one of my favorite things that I've ever seen ever. So yeah, I'll probably say that kind of stuff. Like I want to be
Yeah. Okay, now the potentially controversial ones, but not really. Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Oh, it was easy.
Never really watched Star Trek at all.
Dragon Ball or Pokemon? Also easy. There we go. Now, these could be one-word answers, or it could be story time before we go. Have you ever seen a UFO?
Oh, I've seen so many things, man. So many things. I've seen UFOs, spirits, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I've seen plenty of things that in the sky that I've not been able to pinpoint. So yes.
Yes. Well, if it's unidentified and it's flying and it's an object,
might
not be an alien. Might be the Koreans, might be the Russians, but I was going to say, have you ever seen a ghost?
100%.
Follow up?
Honestly, we could, Johnny, have another podcast where we talk nothing about ghosts. I have stories aplenty. I have evidence. I have witnesses who have been around me.
Yeah.
I'm like a vessel to attract paranormal activity. I really am.
Well, we just might have to do that. I have
Awesome.
had no such experiences, but
Really?
so many great stories since I've been asking the question that enough to make me a believer. You know, like there is shit out there in this world that we do not know, do not understand, and maybe we don't have to. Maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we shouldn't even try.
That's honestly, that's the beauty of living. You know, it's the mystery of it all. If we knew everything, everything would be boring.
It is, which is so. I always bring this up, right? I don't know if it's fairies, goblins, or some shit, but like we've all. It might be the TV remote. It might be your car keys. I don't know. It might be your PlayStation controller. You put it down. You know where it is. You put it down. You go to the toilet. You go make a coffee and whatever. You come back. It's not there.
Borrowers. Right? That's what it is.
So as it fell off. So you know it's not on the arm of the sofa. So you look on the floor. You look at you're turning the whole house upside down. You're looking in the stupidest places because it's not where it's supposed to be. You know, you're looking in the back of the fridge. You're moving some mouldy lettuce you didn't even remember buying out of the way and seeing if your controller's behind that. You know, in the fridge, ridiculously, only to come back to where you started and then find it right there where it was fucking supposed to be.
Yeah,
but it wasn't.
Exactly. No, 100%. Although we are men. We do men look. You know, our peripheral vision is so much different to women. The amount of times, like I remember at one point, Jessie asked for a biscuit, and my missus at the time, she had like tied up the whole kitchen. I was there for 15 minutes, which is a long time when you're just looking for a biscuit tin. I was looking around for this biscuit tin, and I picked up the phone, and I remember leaning up like this, put the phone, like you had my window, like I was looking out the window. I was like, Heather, where are the biscuits? Like, I've looked everywhere. They're in front of the window, and I'm looking, and I'm literally staring right at the tin, like my peripheral vision kind of zoned in on them. I was like, oh my! I'm looking right at them, like as we speak. So yeah, I don't know if it's a male thing.
Well, you know what? But, I'm gonna hit you with. I'll hit you with some science.
Go ahead.
No long words, just my version. Yeah. But it's true. It's true.
Go ahead.
Our human eyes, we take in so much information, so much information. Our brains are big enough, good enough to process it, but not in a way that we can really make sense of because there's so much information. So what our brain does, a lot of the time, what we do, when you see something, you take a part of it that you recognize, and then it kind of photo fits from memory the last time you saw it. So
interesting.
So when your friend, partner, or whatever, when they've had a new haircut and it's been hours, and they're like, and you haven't said anything because you didn't notice that they've got a new do, because that's how your brain works. Because the last time you saw them, they didn't, you know, or you know, they've got contacts in instead of glasses. You're not noticing this shit, because they're a spectacle wearer, and you're still seeing them with spectacles, and it'll take a while before it kind of catches up to that new, live, up-to-date image.
Oh.
Hi. Hey.
We're alive, Jesse. We're talking to a bunch of people. This is John.
Yes.
Hi.
I'm going to put you to bed soon, Jesse. We're talking about eyes.
Yeah. We'll do that.
Like sea eyes.
Like sea eyes from Doors.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I'll be down in just a second, buddy, okay?
Okay, but I can only just say that maybe I can like beat you up.
You can't beat me up. I'm your dad. Oh, dare. Violence in the child. I blame the parents.
Hey, so look, it's been a pleasure. I'm going to let you wrap this up. It's been an absolute pleasure.
That's Johnny. I've had a lot of fun.
We will certainly try and do this again.
Yeah, I'd love to.
It may even be an idea. I'll let you draw on me sometime. That'd be cool.
100%, mate. I'll sort you out a very good price. Like, you're looking at literally 30 to 60, depending what you want. Like, I won't go any higher. I refuse.
See, so we're going to end this. I end these things now. I have a catchphrase. I don't say it. You do.
Okay.
If you'd oblige me. Your line
oblige
is, and you can do this however you want, right?
Okay.
If you want to do it, if you want to sing it, if you want to do it comedically, if you have a celebrity impersonation, now would be the time. If you want to do it erotically for the ladies or whatever.
I can do erotic. I can do edgy.
Edgy, yeah. Do it 90s style. But your line is, till next time, keep it foxy. And I'll let you go.
Till next time, keep it foxy.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, boys who used to be girls, girls who used to be boys, and those of you as yet undecided, you're all welcome here. But we're going for tonight. This has been Dean Judd, the tattooed teabag from Intrepid Art.
Intrepid Ink.
You'll find them in Sheffield. Look them up. Get on those socials. Get yourselves booked in.
Yes.
You're just
fantastic.
You're just an outline waiting to be coloured, people. And on that 100%. Note, I'll see you next week.
Johnny, it's been a pleasure.
Good night.
Thank you, my darling. See you later.